Hello, hello everyone. There we go. We got some lights, camera, action. Hello. I'm going to give it a few minutes here. Start shuffling some cards just to get everything ready. For those of you who are going to be joining on the replay, I will have timestamps in the description below if you want to jump ahead. Okay, you can see and hear me. Thank you. Hi, babe. So yes, there will be timestamps in the description if you need to jump ahead or jump around, and you'll be able to see the different call out readings that were done. These are all collective readings today. So just reminding everyone, hi, Kimberly, just reminding everyone, these are collective. Not answering personal questions today. That will be on Sunday. So coming up in 2 days on Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time, I will be on answering questions. Make sure you come in early and get your question down because we've been getting pretty busy on those calls and I won't be able to get to all the questions. So the sooner you jump on and engage, the better. Hello, hello, for whoever has joined. For whoever's on, would you like to drop a word maybe about how you've been feeling, how life has been treating you, a word or two that might describe your experience? Oh, I always have this happen with my hair. Let's try it the old-fashioned way. There we go. Woo. All right, while I fuss with my hair. Yeah, I'm really interested to hear how everybody's feeling and doing. There's been a lot going on, a lot of greater events going on in the United States for sure. And then we've also had a lot of astrological events take place. And there's a lot of what I've been dealing with this week. And I think we'll start the intro here. What I've been dealing with this week is a lot of wanting to go and do things and not being able to do the things that I want and need to do. So I'm just really curious if anyone else has had that issue where you want and you have all these intentions to get things done, but for some reason you're not able to. So Kimberly, you said emotional, and I think that's kind of the push-pull right now. So we have the Capricorn sun, which is calling us to move into action, to do things. You've got these things to do, go do them. And then we have the Cancerian energy that moved Mars in Cancer. So we have that energy for Mars, and we have a Cancer full moon coming up on Monday. So the opposite signs, Capricorn and Cancer, kind of pulling, get things done. But then Cancer says, but is it safe for me to move forward? How do I feel about that? Where are my emotions with that? So there's been a lot of these push-pull kind of energies. For me personally, I've been needing to use my car and get out and do certain things. And there's been a blizzard here and the roads are bad and they're still bad. And then it snowed again. And, it's just like, okay, well, I've been wanting to get out on my walks. I've been taking little Blazer, the Morkie, on walks. Almost every day we've been going on a long walk and we haven't been able to go on our walks. And so just that feeling of I want to go do something, but I can't do what I want to do. And, trying to relax into staying present with the feelings of how does that make me feel? Because I get a little ticked off, right? I get a little moody about it. But then also what can we do to actually replace that, right? And maybe it's something at home. So I want to kind of get in here to a collective message. I'm going to go right into the collective here and just kind of see what the vibe is. That's my experience with it. And I'm sure everybody's having their own experiences. Hello, Zaralath. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, I'm just It's just one of those times where I can feel the push pull from the energies that are out there and directly affecting myself. So I know I have seen it also in my friends. They want to move forward in one direction, but they're having to stop and deal with something else. You said I had an emotional solitude night kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what these energies are doing. And I think one thing we can be really proud of, those of us in the tribe and that are doing the work, is that we have learned and we are able to stay present with the emotions, even when they're uncomfortable or during the times that we want to do other things, right? We might want to do other things, or we might want to do what we think is going to be more productive. But sometimes that emotional processing is the most productive thing we can do, and being present with ourselves and our emotions. So I would say now is a really good time to practice that and not to run away from what is happening or try to run away, but check your emotions about it, and how does that feel, and take as long as you need. Take a whole day, a night, do whatever you need to do, right? And um, see what that's all about. So let's pop in to this collective message. I'm going to pull from the major arcana only of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot and kind of just get the overall energy of the collective. The highest and best message, as always, is what we're asking for to come forth and help teach us. All right. All right. We got the Magician. And I'm going to pull a complement card to that from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle. And we're going to see what kind of energy comes along with the Magician right now for the collective. Whew, okay. I guess we are going to talk about this today. Okay. Look at all this yellow. What in the world? Oh my goodness. We have a lot of yellow energy coming through, both on the Rider-Waite card and on the Oracle card here. Now, we can equate this to maybe the energy of the sun, the solar plexus, right? The place of our esteem, our confidence, how we feel about ourselves. And it says at the bottom here, the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who and what we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So that's what we got. And how do we learn that? How do we explore that? And through different phases of our life. We do it through the elemental exploration. And I was getting the call all morning that when I do the breakout groups after the collective message, it should be the elements. And now I know why. Now, one of the things we can look at in this Magician card, we have a couple ways we can work with the Magician here. Obviously, the Magician is the number 1 card here. We see that up at the top. Comes after the Fool in the major arcana of the tarot. And it's about our magic and learning our magic in the world, and also how to wield it responsibly and properly and with integrity, right? Now, in this particular Magician card, you'll see that all of the elemental tools are lying on the table in front of the Magician. So you have the sword, the pentacle, the cup, and the wand. And in the Magician's hand in his right hand, is the wand of the ether. So this energy, this would be a caution. When I look at it this way, it's a caution not to subvert or ignore the elemental mastery for getting caught up in what's on offer here on the planet right now, energetically. And that would be things like the emotional manipulation that goes on in the media, Now, certainly there are some very real world things happening. And we absolutely, I know I do. I know people that probably join my channel do. We have empathy and compassion for the people that are dealing with the different challenges that are going on. A lot of in LA right now, there's a lot of fires going on and a lot of transformation happening energetically in that area. And remembering that from a collective perspective, some of these things, and yes, of course, we have the dryness and the weather patterns and the wind, and we have all of those all factor into the elemental behavior, but also our collective consciousness affects the elements as well. So are we going to take the time to actually practice with the different elemental tools, or are we going to think we know when really we don't know? We're going to substitute these for the wand of the ether. And if we're looking at this infinity symbol above the magician's head, we can look at that as flat, two-dimensional, trapped in the same cycle over and over again. The magician's job is actually to surrender this wand of the ether, detach from what's on offer in the reality field, in the matrix field, whatever term you want to put to it, and begin to work and study with these elements here. So that's one way the magician can really help us if we look at it from that perspective. Another perspective would be, and this is probably once a person has done some of the path work or some degree of the path work, and they have practice with these elements, and they're able to hold the insights of what's coming at them without letting it get to them, then I would say that my interpretation of it is that this magician card comes into like multiple dimensions, and we start to see that this infinity symbol has no beginning, no end, but it's constantly patterning and spiraling upward, right? So that would be the direction we want to go, because the magician travels to the high priestess next. And we cannot cross her unless we have the experience and the wisdom. So it's all about knowing in any given time where you're at with your energies, and are you wielding the appropriate tool? Right? Are you wielding the appropriate tool? And if you substitute out the elements for this right away, that's how we end up with people, and we see it in the world, misusing their power, misusing their resources, treating others poorly, right? They've skipped the elements and gone straight to, well, look at what I can do. Look at the power. That is the realm of the ego, and that can be a trap. So very interesting that this energy is coming on overall. I think with the current astrology that we have going on, and what some of you have mentioned this morning already about the emotional solitude and the emotionality, and being with your emotions, having that time is really important. Now, we also got this as a compliment card. So for many of us, and I don't know about y'all, where you've been feeling things in your body, where you've been feeling energies, feel free to share or drop it in the chat if you want to, where you might be feeling. But lately I've been having these little whooshes of almost like, it feels like butterflies kind of energy. When you say butterflies in my stomach kind of thing, but I've been having it in that solar plexus area. Now, I haven't talked about this on this channel before, but one interesting story about me is that back when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had an experience where I transcended the chakra system naturally. Okay, it's not something that I was like, I'm going to remove my chakras, or I'm going to mess with my energy centers, or do anything like that. It was not, there was no plan to do anything, but I was just me. I'm a water sign. I'm in the shower. The water's going. I'm pregnant. There's lots of energy moving. And I felt like all my energy centers kind of come out in front of me and I saw all the colors like we see in the chakra realm, right? And I saw all those come out in front of me, and I'll tell the extended version sometimes, but sometime on the channel, but all of those went out in front of me and I could see them all glowing and spinning and doing their thing, and they um, all collapsed into the green one of the heart chakra. Okay. And it all collapsed into the green. And then that green came back into me, into my heart. And there was this, for lack of a better term, huge energetic explosion that I felt, that I heard, that I experienced. And it was so powerful to me. And since then, it's been, I would say, a bit of an easier journey, not worrying about different areas and is this chakra frozen, is this one spinning, is this one, balanced, and I still, a lot of people still work with chakras, and that's fine. I do believe that ultimately it is an overlay. It's an overlay energetic system, but it is real. It's just an overlay of our natural. And so, I encourage everybody to just work with that at their own pace as they feel comfortable. I think when we get into trying to do something with our chakras, like we're trying to make something happen, that's where we run into trouble. This is something that I feel for me and my daughter who was in my womb, that it happened very naturally. It was a timing thing. It was not premeditated at all whatsoever. It was just something that happened, and I allowed it to happen. Hi, Jen. We're talking about the overall energy for the collective right now. So we got the magician and the solar plexus. So I just wanted to say a little bit there about the chakras, because I think everybody works with them differently. I think everybody's at different points with them, and it can bring a lot of information to you to understand. So this being the area though, and this came up, I think this might have come up last week or the week before, or in some reading. It all runs together sometimes, but it's the support of the heart. It's that area right under the heart, right? And so if our confidence isn't online, if our esteem is injured, those are the areas that we're called to work on. Now, with everything going on in the world, like I mentioned with the magician card over here, it'd be easy to be distracted and pick up the wand of the ether and just run wild with that. Or we can focus in on our own energies, which is, guess what we have more control over, right? What we actually can work with. We can really be present with the energy and present to what we're feeling and what we're experiencing. And who knows what the universe will co-create with us when we are open, when we are there to receive, right? And allowing yourself to be with those energies. Kimberly had also said she's had a burning sensation in her solar plexus area and along her right side. Okay, so that's very, very interesting. The right side is the masculine side connected to the left brain, so that might be something to explore a little further. But it's really interesting if we're connecting emotions, so emotional energy that's been coming up for a lot of people, right? The astrology that we have going on, the big events that are going on out there in the world that could grasp our attention instead of us staying focused on our path work and on the track that we need to be on, right? Um, this is what we're being reminded of, emotions as it's connected to that. And it's the number 3 here, that third chakra, the solar plexus. Or if you have, like me, had an experience where you've transcended that system, you're still working with energies in your body. There's still lots of nodes. There's still lots of meridians, right? There's residual energy. There's all kinds of things that you can work with. So taking that time, being present with how you feel about that, even about how you feel about how I've said. Is it intriguing to you? Are you like, ooh, I don't agree? How do you feel? Like, how's it making you feel? And I think that's one of the things we're going to have to be looking at over the course of the next week before I come back for the next Frequency Friday is how are our emotions connected into that? So for some people, if the emotional energies are up, you're going to want to work with the cup here. You're going to want to work with the cup and the Cancerian energies right now that are kind of going head to head with the Capricorn energies, right? That are saying, hey, take time for yourself. Hey, yeah, I know all that work needs to be done, but you also need to have some space for your emotions. You need to take some time for yourself. You need to be able to be still with yourself. You need to be able to go in a room and shut the door and just have a moment to catch your breath, right? And I know that can be a struggle for people in their lives or in their jobs or with what responsibilities they have. So interesting that this is what's coming up for the collective. I'd like to pull another card for the collective after I get a sip of tea. And I'm just curious if anybody wants to share in the chat too. Be brave and share, like, what is something that's likely to pull you off of working with your elemental energy? What is distracting for you? Could it be like, I know I've seen a lot of posts about post holiday reflections about family members and relationships. Is it that? Is it the news? Do you get sucked into that? Is it something else? Like, just really reflecting on that. I know, I'm definitely dealing with hormonal energies right now, and I'm going through a lot of moody ups and downs. I'm already a Cancer. I'm already have a tendency to be moody. And so, I'm just easily pulled off from my center because I am experiencing these fluctuations in my body. So there's a lot of hormonal related things to me. And that kind of, sometimes that leads to my family of origin, where I've come from. Why did I inherit this? I'm somebody, I've had migraine headaches since I was 33. Both my grandmothers had, and it's just kind of like, why? Really? Like, when I come, if I have to come back again, I do not want to have recurring migraines. That's really debilitating, and it really puts a damper in, that energy. And that Capricorn energy is like, do something, go make money, go do this, go do that, show up for this person, do this thing, and it's challenging. So I wanted to pull another card. This one comes from the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards of what we're to be learning from this experience. And we got stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. Yes, stepping into power. So having that confidence and having that esteem that allows us to actually make the movement into our power is what is coming up here. And I'll talk more about this. I want to read a few comments. So Jen said, you have chronic migraines. Yes, it just pulls you, you'll go to bed one evening and you're like, okay, tomorrow I'm doing these things, and you're all prepared. And then sometimes you wake up with the migraine. Sometimes they come on when you're sleeping. Other times you'll be going along just fine in your day, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somehow it gets triggered, whether by light, sound, stress, whatever it is, and boom, you end up having to just check out because you have that headache. So yes, there's empathy going on here. We can empathize with one another here because it's tough. Yeah, very unpredictable too. Yeah, yeah. Especially when it's like, I find, especially when your hormones are connected to it. I mean, certainly some people get like light triggers and strobe lights and things like that, like overexposure, not wearing proper eye protection with the blue light and stuff like that. And there's those tension headaches. But I'm talking about the ones that, I mean, literally, it's like somebody's got an ice pick sticking in your head somewhere. And I don't know about you, Jen, but I've learned to kind of, when I was in the corporate world, I would just work through these things, take an Advil. Who knows what that was doing to my stomach and liver, right? Just take an Advil. And sometimes I still have to, I'm going to be honest. I don't like to, but sometimes if it's really bad and I need to function, as a mom or doing my job or whatever. Like I still have to, but I try everything else first. But yeah, it takes you right out. So, but yeah, I used to really push and work through them. Now I would say I land more on the side of resting and going in a nice dark cool room, or I would laying down in bed and trying to let it pass that way, depending on the pain level, which I feel like I have a high tolerance for pain. Sometimes these migraines can be really, really powerful. Kimberly said, distracted by health concerns and also, yes, reflection on past choices and how that is now affecting my life. Ooh, that's a big one, right? And I do think it factors into us stepping into our power and recognizing our strength. But there's also those moments where you're like, why do I have to be strong? Like, can't somebody else step up and be the strong one? And I know that might teeter or kind of start to venture into the realm of slipping into kind of a victim mentality. But sometimes you're just exhausted. Sometimes you're just out of energy. And if you've got health concerns that are factoring into feeling exhausted and having low energy levels, it can really be tough. And you're trying to push through, and maybe you're not even trying to push through for a job or for somebody else. Maybe it's just for yourself, but it really brings on some challenges. And so sometimes we just have to say, okay, this is what is happening. Let me just be with what's on the table right now. Let me just be with what's going on. And, when it comes to the body letting us know, I think when the body gets us to the point where it's like, no, you don't have a choice, check out, go lay down. Like Jen said, you had one yesterday, took the day off. You had to lay low and rest. Yes, we have to give ourselves that peace. We have to give ourselves that grace. We have to give ourselves that care. And that's what these Cancerian energies are coming in and saying. You need to take care of yourself, right? So we've got the extra energies. We've got kind of the push pull of the Capricorn Cancer energies right now. And then we've got we must listen to our body. Our bodies will usually make the final decision and they'll shut down. I mean, it doesn't have to be a headache. For some people, it's like an anxiety attack, a panic attack. Um, some people will just go to food and have, then play that out, like trying to numb it out with an unhealthy relationship with food, or all of the above, right? Little something like that, anything to make me feel better, right? And of course, when we're in physical pain, we have to take care of ourselves. On the other hand, we also have to be aware that it's important to rest, and it's important to listen to our body and learn from what the pain might have to teach us, right? So it's kind of that line of like, okay, how can I be with this? So, and that's a different, there's a different press the red button for everybody, right? Where I'm done. I can't, I got to take the Advil now, or I got to do this or that or the other to take care of myself. And then I'll spend some time with this. But what are our bodies trying to tell us? And the beauty of somatics really helps us with that. Kimberly said it's become a new practice to begin giving yourself grace. Yes, that's so important for the choices I made when I didn't have good choices to pick from. Absolutely. Absolutely. So sometimes we find ourselves in life one way or another. And there is that greater part of us, our greater being, that has the perspective, that knows, okay, little Stephanie, little Kimberly, little Jen, whoever is going to go down that path, they're going to get stuck there. They're only going to have these choices and they're going to have to make one to move forward. And, there's that part of us that knows that we'll get through it, right? But when you're in it, and you are on the path and you have the awareness around it, that's where it can get really challenging. So, what do we need? We need the grace, right? On the journey, we need the grace. And grace to me, I love the energy of grace. And I always describe it as it feels like a lotus flowers blooming one on top of the next, like a never ending, beautiful plume of lotus flowers just opening and blooming. And as soon as one opens fully, another one is birthed from the middle, and the energy of grace flows, and it softens, and it takes the edges off naturally. So really, really powerful energy when we tune into that grace and give ourselves that grace, because it's not going to help for us to be hard on ourselves or start judging ourselves or start putting extra pressure on ourselves. So as just like we work muscles in our body to get stronger, we have to work with these energies, right? We have to allow some of these energies to flow through us so that we can learn and step into our power. And I don't know about you all, but for those of you familiar with the tarot, this card is really reminding me of the Hermit a little bit here. And so as we are, at least in the northern hemisphere, we're here in the winter months, right? And so there is a little bit of slowness, there's coldness, there's frozen energies, right? That we are meant to work with. We're meant to be a bit more internal. And perhaps this is a little forecasting or foreshadowing for the energy that we'll be stepping out of. Maybe we are spending that time in hermit mode and in that self-care. It's like the crab, the Cancer, protecting itself with the shell, right? And kind of pulling back, right? And we're illuminating from the inside out so that we can step into this wonderful power that we have amongst, and look how dark and shadowy the surroundings look for this traveler, right? No matter what's going on outside of us, no matter what, here we have on this side, the wand of the ether, what is being attempted to distract us and pull our emotions into certain energies, right? And get emotionally attached to these false inverted stories. We are going to turn back to our own inner light, which is what's represented. The traveler here is carrying his own inner light and recognizing his own strength, right? So that when we come back out, possibly in the spring, I'm kind of feeling like a springy energy, then we come back all the stronger. Okay, today I would like to do some elemental readings. So we're going to break it down into earth, air, fire, and water. And let me get a sip of tea again here. Who's going to go first? All right, fire wants to go first. Fire wants to go first, okay? And I had a feeling about that because of what we got going on in California, what we got going on in the collective psyche. So now's the time. And of course, for those of you listening to the replay, I'll have timestamps. We're going to go with fire first. And look at the places in your chart where you have fire. Okay, so where you might have the fire element. What stands out to you? What's the first thing that comes up? Like I have Venus in Leo, so that comes up for me right away as something that, is fire connected. So just kind of go with where you naturally sense fire in your chart, because these messages aren't just meant necessarily for a fire sun sign, right? This could be your rising, your north node, your moon. And then as you learn more and more about the planets or the celestial bodies, you can start to have a different relationship with it. So if you have the fire element in your moon, it might relate to how you're healing or how you're working with shadow aspects, right? How you're coming out of the darkness. If you have a fire sun, it might represent your soul spark, your livelihood, and how you're progressing in the world. So we can kind of take those different energies and look at them. Okay, so what is up? What's going on? Let me just tune into the fire signs and the fire element here. It's interesting. I'm getting the word conquest, like Kind of feels like a bit of Aries energy, quest or conquest. There's kind of this awareness in the fire element right now of the longer parts of the journey, the parts of the journey that take more of the warrior aspect, like warrior up kind of energy there. Really interesting. Let's see what we get. We got the Emperor straight out the gate for our fire signs. Oh, I'm not surprised. We got the Emperor. Yeah, fire signs are online. And, you know, when we're seeing like, when we're looking at something like the wildfires in California, for example, right? And we're looking at that devastation through transformation. For fire signs, there's probably some relatability there. How many times have you fire signs just feel like you've burnt to ashes and then rose again, right? And there is that, I am getting a bit of that element of like warring, and maybe it's, you know, the a bit of that Cancer, that Mars in Cancer energy, because Mars does not like to be there. It wants to be moving. It's, you know, it's a fiery planet. It wants to be going. So there is some of that. So some fire signs, you might be dealing with a little bit of an internal battle going on there. There may be some internal fires, wildfires that are burning that you're paying attention to. However, I'll also mention that the Emperor, being the number 4 card, is working with that element in a quest to gain stability. In this particular card here, he's holding several things. He's got an axe, a scroll, and what looks to be like what I would call a meditation mat. So, you know, this Emperor is on a quest for knowledge, for wisdom. Yes, he has the battle axe in his hand, but he is giving the battle axe the same amount of attention as he is the scroll and the meditation mat. So there's a balance here that fire signs are working on craving. And when we think about Mother Nature and how Mother Nature brings balance, and my nose is running, the energies are definitely moving with the fire signs here. When we think about Mother Nature and the balance she brings, that's the highest energies of this Emperor here. So yes, we have the warrior. Yes, we have the conquest kind of energy, but this feels very much to me like conquest over the self and managing the energies within. And of course, transformation is going to be a part of it, but so is grace and wisdom and those other things, right? So very interesting. This is the Gilded Tarot Royale. Really brilliant deck. Love it. Based off the Rider-Waite. So fire signs showing up, working with the element. I love that because we talked about it in the collective message with the Magician, working with these elements. So fire signs are working with the fire, as you should be right now. And you got the Strength card. And that also came up in the collective message. This is Leo energy. So Leo had to have a bit of bit of fun here. I kind of equate the Emperor to the Aries, right? But this is our Leo energy showing up. This is the courage coming online. This is that energy that results from the work in that solar plexus area, right? As we're navigating the solar spiral of creation. And I love the sense of pride that I see in this particular card. I feel that the character in this card, she has already tamed the lion, and they are walking side by side. They are journeying side by side here. So the beast, rather than be on the attack or anything like that, is patiently observing along with her, with this representation of strength here. Now, for some fire signs, you may feel like, okay, there are some things I'm really having to be strong about in my own personal life, right? So you may have some personal issues going on that are really requiring you to get aligned with yourself and stay strong and keep going. And I get that message overall too, like all of us, stay strong, keep going. But you're actually modeling it, fire signs. You're actually like modeling how to do this to the other elements. And this is really beautiful. I feel that this represents a new day dawning. I feel a real alignment and connectedness in this card. I'm not saying it's not moving you in some powerful ways that may be a little difficult at times, that might be a little challenging at times, but it is showing up in its alignment, which is good. Strength and alignment, beautiful, right? Strength out of alignment, that's where we get into power struggles and stuff. Yeah, beautiful strength card there. So I'm going to put Sagittarius energy on this third card. Now, it's a minor arcana card, so more of a passing energy, but some sort of challenge right now in the Sagittarius energies. Now, fire signs sometimes like a good challenge. For some people, I feel like this is a puzzle, like putting together the pieces of a puzzle or figuring out your path to your goals. So even though I'm equating the Sagittarius energy, this is a fire sign reading, right? So some of you have a blend of these things going on in your energies right now. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. And look how they're in the wild. They're kind of out in the wild of the forest, amongst the trees, amongst the green. And these characters they all have a wand, right? And they're all wielding it slightly differently. So for some of you fire signs, what I'm getting is that parts work might be really important for you. Working with the different aspects of the self and some parts work might help bring things together. This really feels like a puzzle that wants to be solved, but only you through your actions can solve it. Okay. So we've got some powerful energies. We've got some longer standing energies of the Emperor and the Strength card, and then some of the more transient energies of the Five of Wands. But fire showing up as fire, and I'm honestly not surprised with that being online right now, elementally, and present in our physical reality, right? So I want to look at this Emperor, and I want to get a card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit to go with this Emperor here. Ooh, okay. The turtle comes out with the Emperor. And I did get that. I feel like this Emperor is not, he's not on the attack. This Emperor is taking time to gain some sort of wisdom and understanding about the self, moving more slowly, more mindfully, more strategically in his own life or her own life. And the turtle, there's this energy coming through. It's really cute that I'm getting with the turtle. And it's kind of like, if I want to be lazy, I'll be lazy. Leave me alone, leave me alone. If I want to go slow, I'm going to go slow. And that may be a little bit of, rebellious energy against some of what we feel in the collective or in the reality field, in the matrix of the pressure to do everything fast, to do it yesterday, right? And fire signs here saying, no, I'll do it when I please. And if I want to just take a swim and float up to the surface and let my shell get a little sun and bake in the sun, then I'll do that, right? So there is this bit of like, I'm going to do it differently. in spite of what's going on. Okay. So I love the little turtle with the emperor. What an interesting combination, right? Normally you'd put something more headstrong and fiery, like, a bull or a ram or something, with the emperor. But I love that our fire signs are bringing in that alternative energy. Let's look at this strength card for our fire signs here. Ooh, nice. The hummingbird comes up with our strength card here. So remember, I said I really feel like for fire signs, this strength card is about alignment, right? It's about being aligned, and the lion is already tamed. The lion is not on the attack, it's more of an observer. And this hummingbird energy actually clarifies that as well here. Hummingbirds have that beautiful sound they make when they fly, the beautiful vibrations that they put in the world, right? As they fly in all directions, backward, forward, up, down. They have this unique way of feeding, and they have very, very pointy beak, right? So they go right in for the sweetness. So they fly all around, but they go directly in for the sweetness. And I think that's important for fire signs to remember right now. Let some of your experiences be sweet, right? And if you feel called to put out a sweet gesture, then do that, right? If you feel called to enjoy something sweet, like, I don't know about y'all, but during the winter time here, I love the oranges and the grapefruits. To me, they're like so sweet. They taste so good. Enjoy some of the nectar of your alignment. Make sure there's some enjoyable things going on as you're connecting in with your own strength. All right, let's get a clarifier for the Five of Wands, which I was kind of connecting up with the Sagittarius energy here. So, some puzzle that you'd like to solve. Ooh, very interesting. We got the bat. So, what's interesting to me, first off, we have now two creatures that use the air for propulsion. So we've got a bit of oxygen being, if you think about the wings moving, bringing those vibrations to the fire. In California, we're dealing with the wind. As the wind changes and blows, those wildfires get, it's very risky because they can go different directions, right? But the bat, a nocturnal animal. So I think the puzzle coming together here for fire signs has to do with something in the shadows, something that you're trying to piece together. And you'd like to piece it together before you move forward. It's brought, I feel like there's tension in your zone from this, but it's not overwhelming and it's not taking you down, okay? But there's tension that can only be relieved through other senses. I don't think when we think about the bat, we think about their hearing, right? Is very powerful. They don't have good eyesight. So visually, things may not be coming together. This may be more of a feeling your way through this challenge, this darkness, or whatever is upon you. And I love how in the bat picture here, we have the full moon, which is coming up on Monday, glowing in the background. And we have a Cancer full moon. So this would be really coming into the emotional energies, the emotional sensitivities that you may have hiding in your psyche or hiding in your subconscious. We have the nocturnal bat coming out there. So, wow, fire signs are really, really working on it there. My goodness. Okay, I think I'm going to pull a card here for fire signs to kind of close it out and then get any final messages from our Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle. Pardon me. If you're still here, drop a word or a comment or a emoji. What's going on, fire signs? Why am I getting cough all of a sudden? Maybe we're going to find out what fire signs are going to be clearing here. I just got really hot too. Look, my skin's turned all red. Whew. I'll have to take this part off. I love this, but fire signs. Empowerment. So we had power come up in collective, and you have empowerment here. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up. This is about showing up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. And look how we have, I just like to say, in your reading, fire signs, we had the 5 of Wands, often depicted like a kind of like in a 5-pointed star, but we have 5 symbols here as well. So definitely fire signs are, feeling the tension, but they also have this aligned strength coming up that we got that feels really good. We also have the Emperor energy coming through the fire signs saying, I'm going to do it my way. I'm not going to do it the way that society, family, whoever else is trying to pressure me to do it. I'm going to do it my way. And it's leading to this great empowerment. So we have a 26 for those of you who like to work with the numbers. And 2 + 6 is 8. That is a number of abundance. So a beautiful way. And I love how we have the fire, but we have a bit more cooling blue colors here coming in, right? And I love this because when I think of the Sagittarius energy aiming for a target, this is what you fire signs are aiming for, like the archer. I really like how you're navigating the energy, fire signs. I think the other elements could learn from you too. This is very powerful. I like how you're showing up as yourself, but you're also inviting different aspects of yourself to take the lead. You're letting things be slower. And so be it. That's what's going on. I love it. Oh, thank you for the cute emojis, Kimberly and Jen. I'm glad you ladies are here today. Anybody else who wants to drop a comment or an emoji, please do. Which element should be next here? Earth. Earth is coming on strong here. The earth has something to say. So let's do it. Earth signs. Let's go into the earth sign energy and what we can learn from the earth signs. Yeah, I don't know, Kimberly, if you were giving it that, I felt that push. That was a push there coming through. We're going to go over to the Light Seers Tarot for our earth signs. The 5 of Wands just fell out of that deck. That's funny. No fire signs. Your reading is over. It's time for the earth signs now. All right, let's go earth signs. Ooh la la. I love it when the earth signs give me some good stuff. Oh, right here, this one. Okay. Yep. All right, earth signs, kicking us off with the High Priestess. I love it. And let me try to get this card a little closer so everybody can see. If you look very carefully at her eyes, she has her physical eyes closed, but you can see the artist has added eyes that if you kind of adjust how you're looking, adjust your own eyes, it's as if she's staring at you through her eyelids. I love this depiction of it. We've got some runes floating up at the top of the cards, both sides. This one over here, earth signs, is manas. It's what I have on my Mjolnir, my Thor's hammer here. And earth signs, you're giving me, it's interesting. I do get the sense of humanity, and I knew this was going to come up from somewhere sometime today. There is this focus of earth signs have on being able to actually affect the reality field through their movements for the good of humanity. And one of the things that we don't see a lot of when we're out there, we're looking at news and or we're, things cross our path on, even we may not even look at news, but on social media, we see something dramatic, let's say, right? Most of the time it is. There's this question of where's the humane in humanity? And that's what I'm really getting from this high priestess and the earth signs, is that there is a great focus right now on the humane aspect of humanity, which would include being compassionate, being understanding, being patient, having the wisdom to know that what you might be seeing is not necessarily 100% true. There might be elements of truth. There's a lot of extracting here of what is real going on for the earth signs that I feel just through this one card here. And so, very important work to be doing right now and keeping that channel open, right? So that others can see how to pass through these gates. Because as we're on our journey and we're on the solar spiral of creation, moving into the solar and even the galactic for some of you, I know some of you are already working with the galactic spiral. That's a whole other topic and conversation. But as we're navigating our journey here, okay, just to put it simply, navigating our journey, right now, earth signs, it really feels like you're kind of leading the way with that, in a sense of, let me show you how to navigate getting through these gates. So we have gates all the time. It could be the Lion's Gate portal, right? It could be the Cancer full moon coming up on Monday, right? It's the gate that Pluto just went through, right? That Pluto gate from Capricorn to Aquarius, right? It's these kinds of energies that earth signs are really focused on helping themselves and therefore others, because we do have this humanity focus with manas, the rune manas, beautiful rune to work with, absolutely one of my favorites. This is the unity aspect. I think that came up in the collective reading as well. Now, earth signs, you're acknowledging the fire element. I mean, could anything say California more than this card? We have a surfer girl standing on the edge of the ocean and 3 wands, right? So you're definitely acknowledging that. But you're looking out to the expanse of the ocean, and being as you're very grounded, you understand the bigger perspective here. Of course, you care about humanity. Of course, you want everyone to stay safe. Of course, you want, these fires to be extinguished, of course, right? There's also this awareness, though, that this is a part of nature. This is a part of the collective journey. And so, yes, you have compassion. Yes, you have an understanding of the devastation, very much so, but you're also looking out to the ocean. You're also looking for the bigger wisdom. And I'll remind everyone, the ocean is made out of water, which means emotion. Looking out into the expanses of how do we sort through all these emotions that are coming up? And it's just the time we're in as well. We're here at a fantastic time to be here as a soul and to honestly get to experience these energies in the proportions that we are. And I really like this outlook. I feel that this is, I see how she has one foot steady on the ground and then she's kind of pushing up her heel on the other foot. That is meaningful to me for you earth signs. I feel like you're showing me and telling me that you are able to stay strong in your understanding of the greater, the more expansive energies that are happening, but you're also flexible and open to talking to others and speaking with others about their thoughts. And you may even be taking a step in that direction. Some of you may be exploring a class or a deeper philosophy of some kind. You may be getting ready to step into something new. Definitely transformation is involved. And this could even be you looking at everything, taking an inventory and saying, okay, knowing what's going on in the collective, knowing at my own personal things that I need to work on, what's my next best step? But it looks like you're in the middle of taking it because she has her heel propped up, as if she's going to take those steps into the ocean, right? So you're right on to something here. I'm interested to see what animal comes up with that for clarity. Let's move on to your final card, the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So we, along with the great wisdom that you bring, what I love about this, when I get the pages, they are my perpetual student cards, right? These perpetual student energies that they are new, they are youthful energies, all right? That doesn't mean your soul is that, but our souls continually experience being exposed to new things, right? And here the earth signs are talking about balance. And so I like how she's in this, excuse me, tree pose. And the positioning of her hands around the pinnacle, I was burping a lot, so there's a lot of energy coming up with this. If you feel any resistance to being like new and exploratory to something, I know sometimes I do. Like I get frustrated with myself about being new or novice at something. That's why it took me so long to even really get serious about my YouTube channel, right? And that's the energy I kind of sense here. Some of you may feel a little apprehensive about being seen as new or novice, or for some of you, this could be a new dietary requirement or routine that you're taking on. You may be turning this pinnacle wheel, so to speak, dialing in what works for you. But tree pose here, even though she's got one leg propped up here and she's on ice skates, she's on ice skates. It feels like a tightrope. Feels like a tightrope at times, being just poised like this. Some of you might be in a waiting pattern for some news or something like that as well. You're waiting to get, or you need more information about something to do with your finances or your health, something along those lines, right? So for some of you, it's newer energy. For some of you, it's news. And I'll just go into the colors real quick. We have the green and the orange here that's standing out, right? The heart to sacral connection, the heart to sacral connection. I feel that her energies are moving backward and forward through that. And maybe for some of you, it is just sending a little love to those areas, sending some of that grace that we mentioned earlier to those areas. Okay. All right, let's get a clarifier for the High Priestess for our earth signs here from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit. Ooh, oh, I love these two together. The High Priestess and the Elk. The High Priestess and the Elk. This to me feels very embodied. It feels that I think this is the earth signs way of telling me they feel strong. I think this would be the elk could be like a strength card here. It's like at this time, the earth signs they have a lot of awareness about what's going on in the bigger picture. Okay. I'm feeling definitely these energies for you earth signs that are not limited or short sighted or, just really specific on one thing. I think there's this understanding, an inner standing of the bigger picture here for earth signs. And I just think about the elk in the forest walking around, and the power of when each hoof touches the ground, the power in the element of earth itself. And how are you walking the earth? Well, you're walking it here with the high priestess, with a whole lot of wisdom and a whole lot of vision about how experiences shape and allow us to evolve through the veil here behind the high priestess. So there are some really important channels open, but I like the way you're moving through them. I think of an elk. When I picture an elk walking, it's like very paced. It's like maybe, I mean, it's just right. It doesn't seem too slow. It doesn't seem too fast, but I feel a lot of conviction here. I feel a lot of determination here of just step, 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 and then pause, and then aware, and then back to stepping. There's also, we have the, I don't know, do they call it a buck? Like in deer terms, what do we call a male elk? Probably has a name. Somebody will drop it in the comments at some point, or I'll have to look it up after this. But we have the leader here. So we have earth signs leading through their connection with their wisdom, through what they can see. I would not be surprised if many of you are feeling quite psychically intuitive right now. And because you are so well connected in with the earth energies, that is online. That is online for you. So I love the elk with the high priestess there. Lots of wisdom coming through. Maybe do some of you need to share some wisdom you've gained with somebody, or on YouTube or out there in the world? Consider that as well. I feel like some of you, especially with this next card, this Three of Wands, are possibly considering sharing something. You have something to share or starting something up. Yeah, and it's big. It's real big, y'all. Your sign's got the whale here. So remember, I said you're staring out at that ocean, and up comes this beautiful humpback whale, right? And you know how they move. You've seen videos of them, or if you've been blessed to see one in real life, how they kind of come up and then they kind of fall, Yeah, this is big energy for you. It's something that you may be planning to get out there with. All right. I don't know that you're running. You're not running to catch the surf. Look, in here we have no waves, or very little waves, very calm seas. But something big is coming for you. And I'm also getting called to like the whales and the dolphins, they put out the sonar, and they make and they have these certain, again, vibration is coming up. I feel like it came up with the hummingbird too, didn't it? For our fire signs, the vibrations, big vibrations that you have the potential to put out right now. And I would recommend keep stepping in that direction. I'm not saying you have to run, but this is big energy. This is big energy that you're bringing forward into the collective, because we do have a big focus on humanity and the collective here. For some of you out there, it may be some sort of humanitarian effort. For some of you, it is going to impact in a humanitarian way. So even if it's not like a nonprofit kind of thing, or taking collections for, I don't know, like the fires or whatever. It may be a humanitarian effort that affects the collective. All right, let's get one for this Page of Pentacles here. So this balancing act, this newness, being new at something, maybe that's why I was thinking about maybe being apprehensive about something new, because you already know it's big. Earth signs already know what they're bringing is big. Ooh, great animal to pair with the Page of Pentacles, the wolf. Once again, considering the pack. Once again, considering the pack. Now, here we have a single wolf pictured, but again, we have earth energy. So we have two earth energies and the water energy from the whale, right? Something is getting ready to flow for you. And when we think of the wolf has that keen sight, that keen sense of smell, that perception. So whatever challenge you're dealing with, or if you're trying to stay in balance, or you're having a health challenge or a financial challenge, Wolf is coming through with great wisdom and I got leadership kind of with that elk, and this is like the alpha wolf here too. So I get another kind of leadership kind of feeling. You're breaking the mold for others. Yes, you're going to have to take a risk. Yes, you're going to have to try something new. Yes, you're going to have to let yourself be new at it. But the wolf moves forward with what it perceives naturally, with conviction. Cool. I like that. You're really making an effort here to move through some of these energies quite well with your element, in correspondence with your element. Let's get you a card from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle to close this off. Boom. I shuffled right back in, and there you go. Earth signs, the solar plexus chakra. For those of you who are hearing this message and something big and you know it's there, I want you to go ahead and take that step. With this solar plexus card coming up once again in the frequency of esteem and confidence, you've got to take a step in that direction. It can be a baby step, but it needs to be a step. It needs to be some sort of step in that direction toward this whale, toward what you know you're bringing into the world. Because it's big and it has big meaning. And sometimes the pages teach us that we step out even if we don't know everything. That's how we learn. We go through the experiences, and then we can incorporate the experiences into our reality, right? So, Kimberly, this resonating for you? Awesome. I love it. I love it. Thank you for the comments. And thank you all for being here. We're going to move on. So we've got air and water left. Air. Air's next. Water's going to close us off today, I think. All right. 1:13:33 for air. All right. Air signs. Aquarius, the humanitarian. And we've got Libra, balance, right? And we've got Gemini, the ones that keep us laughing and having fun, thankfully. All right, let's see what our air signs have to say today. Ooh. I love how I am seeing a resonance with some elemental energies here for every sign. But air signs they got a couple different things going on here. Okay, air signs, big changes for you with this wheel. Again, we have another character here in a tree pose on top of, how are they balancing on these moving wheels of the tarot here? How, right? Thanks for joining, Kimberly. We'll see you later. How are they doing this, right? Well, they're doing it with the wind, with the air. For some of you, this is like actually working with the energy of the wind and aerokinesis. Very, very interesting topic to go into or practice to try to work. Look how, with one hand, there is a white veil or white energy in the air, and with the other hand, there is black. This is the Libra energies coming through, showing balance. And this character, she has fuzzy dice. Like there's a luck. There's like luck is on your side, air signs. It's a lucky time for you, the roll of the dice. And it looks like on the dice themselves, it's kind of hard to see, but they're like a double six. So lots of things changing and in motion for air signs, and a very auspicious and lucky energy coming forward for you. Now, here's where you're journeying, interestingly, into some of the other elements. And this could mean luck and love for some of you. We have the King of Cups here. This could mean someone's coming in. Someone's coming in. You have a king or queen possibly coming in for you. And it's an auspicious time for you to be dating if you're single. For others of you, this could have to do with, like if you're in a relationship, this could have to do with an enhancing of the current relationship that's going on. And I think it's from your own work with your emotions. At the very beginning of today, if you get to go back and watch the replay, we talked a lot about the emotional energies and how important it is to focus on those. Some of you air signs might be going more inward right now in order to focus on this heart space energy and these emotions. So, I think Zeralath mentioned at the very beginning having like an emotional solitude night for himself. That's this energy here. That's a beautiful way to look at this energy where you just get to be. And you get to be, look how the king is kind of, he's meditating, but he's kind of observing. I feel like his eyes are there, the eyelids are lowered, but they're not all the way closed. He's very much peering into how he feels about something. His heart is illuminated. We have the light streaks coming out of that energetic center. We have a starfish, which I feel like is another good omen for air signs. We've got the sailboat in the background. This feels like a new level of fullness that you air signs might be experiencing. Fullness within your heart, fullness within relationships, fullness in the balance of your emotional energies, and the attention that you're giving them. Okay, beautiful. I love that. And then you're bringing in yet another element here, air signs. You're bringing in the Nine of Pentacles. And this is accomplishment. And this is actually enjoying. Look, she's handing a pentacle up and she's got like, it looks like a white peregrine falcon. So for some of you, I'm going to say it's a peregrine falcon. I could be wrong about the anatomy, but that's what I'm getting. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. The peregrine falcon is assisting her. Look at how she's wearing white and the bird is white. I love this for you air signs because it feels very clear to me. It feels very pure. I feel like you definitely know where you're headed with things and you know what pieces to put into place to get there. Because why? Because you're aligned. You're in alignment with your purpose, with your passion, with your highest desires, and with the universe here. So there's a lot of joy here in this card. There's a lot of feeling good about what you've accomplished. And we have the herbs that are hanging in the background. So I don't know if you noticed that. The pentacles are kind of hanging down amongst dried herbs. Care for the self. Some of you could be very proud about the physical that you've been working on. You're making strides and accomplishments in your physical body. With your health, with eating healthier. It's hard, isn't it? Man, I crave chocolate so bad, y'all. And I know there's some good chocolate, right? But I'm just telling you, I crave it no matter dark milk chocolate. I don't like white chocolate as much, but my hormones get to craving that. And It is bad sometimes. Okay. But it's not all bad, right? For the Wheel of Fortune, you got the Vulture. So here you have the winds of change, a very lucky feeling. Now, in order for this pure, fresh, balanced energy to come in, we have to remember what has to break down, what has to be, what has to decay. And we know that vultures go and they will clear the decay, right? So, air signs, you're well aware of this. You could be doing a little bit of this in your own life. So, things may have felt like they're decaying for you, and you're working on clearing that away. Others of you might be this really fortunate, lucky energy, and you're watching out maybe for people who have the vulture kind of energy, who kind of try to swoop in and take your hard work and take all your efforts and try to make it their own. So there could be that, but I also get that it's a clearing away of what needs to die, decay, and transition so that this new energy can come in. So the vulture, and sometimes we'll see them like on the side of the road on top of a dead animal, and they're really like, but they clear it away. They clear things away. And the vulture, being a bird, that's connected to that air energy. So being able to clear it away, and then you come back and you drive by that spot and everything's cleared away. They take some of it, some of the other animals clear the rest of it. So there's a clearing going on for you, air signs, as well. What about this King of Cups? Ooh, I love this. So you're going full water on us here with the King of Cups and the octopus. And this octopus, look at the tentacles. Look how far reaching this hardcore energy of the air signs is. All these tentacles go in different directions. They're able to touch. This is you touching other people's lives in a positive way. This is you coming from your heart. Again, I get that humanitarian feeling. I get that it's, there's love here. For some of you, that's happening very personally, right? And this would be like you just wanting to wrap around and cling to your loved ones and really value the experience with those close to you. But for others of you, it's reaching out and affecting more people on the whole. Really a great time for you to do a deep dive or some sort of service work in the community work or something where you're volunteering perhaps. Feels like that would be extremely rewarding for you and everyone connected to you. All right. It just feels really whole and really good there. Let's see about this Nine of Pentacles, this accomplishment here. Lovely. We got the Deer. And you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing the words, do no harm, but take no shit. Do no harm, but take no shit. And I think some of you air signs are showing me here that while you may be a gentle creature, you may be soft in some ways, you don't want people to mistake, right? That if they come to interfere with your work, with your peace, you're not going to take that. And I kind of got that energy, with watching out for these vultures too. So some of you may be dealing with like a nasty competitive energy, or you're having to watch yourself. For some of you, it could be, a spiritual aspect, or you feel like you're a bit under like a psychic or spiritual attack, right? And you're feeling kind of vulnerable here, and you're feeling like your work could be influenced for some of you. But there's also this resolve underneath that of take no shit. And remember, I always love to say your heart is your greatest protection. And this is probably why you're working on this energy, is to keep your heart open. Is keep your heart open. That open heart is your greatest protection. That's a vibration that this, darker energy that these vultures who want to come and take from you can't get into. So I love this. I think you would be the kind of person, for some of you, that people would think they could come in and take advantage of you, and they quickly learn, oh no, I just stepped onto their peace, their work. So do no harm, but take no shit, right? You're going to have the boundaries there. You're going to have the boundaries there, sign. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, let's get you a card from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle. Jen loves the chocolate too. I know. I don't know if it's hormones that make me so attracted. Oh, but I do love it. I do love it. Okay, here it is, air signs. Here it is. Oh, here we go. I want, yeah, the King of Cups, some of you, new love, romantic love, the number 39. That could be an age for some of you. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience and reflection of a conscious lover. And how do we become a conscious lover to someone else? We love ourselves. We make sure, whoops, sorry, King. I can't put my finger over his face. We make sure our heart's open. We make sure we're being vulnerable, but being ourselves at the same time, right? Knowing that we'll protect ourselves and we'll protect what's important to us. So air signs, there could be some romance in the air here, pre-Valentine's Day, right? Looking good for you with romantic love, whether you're in a partnership or not. It might be a really nice time for a candlelight dinner, just sitting down and having a night to cuddle on the couch. Something like that would be really nice for you all right now. Romantic love. Yay. Okay, air signs. Very cool, very cool. For whoever is still on, thanks for sticking on. I think it's Jen. Hi, Jen. I'm glad you're here. Now, this Frequency Friday, I did not mark it out as much. I'm learning to get better at marketing and, reminding people. I didn't do so much this time. So, but a lot of people could catch the replay as well. And that's what's nice about these, is they can come back later. A lot of people are working during this time. All right, water signs are coming in now at 1:27:27. All right. Let's get our water signs here. We're going back to the Gilded Tarot Royale for water signs. And water signs are a little trying to kind of flow the cards right out of my hands. So we've got Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You love the elemental cards, such beautiful energies. Yes, I actually love breaking it up this way into the elemental energies. All right. Yes. Yes. Water signs. Ooh, okay. They had me kind of shuffling and flowing, and then all three cards came right out. So our water signs kicking us off with the Ace of Cups. This is that Cancerian energy that I've been talking about in the moon and Mars being in Cancer. Water signs are leading the way with representing and showing others how to keep their cups full, take care of themselves, and value and protect their emotions here. We have the koi swimming around. So I feel like the water is very full and it has purpose and it has meaning. We do see the cup is overflowing, and we have an eye above the cup, meaning that there's insight here and there's wisdom to be gained when we really go with the practice of keeping our cup full and taking care of ourselves. We have some moon phases here, so we know we're going to be going through changes. We know there's going to be hills and valleys. But we also are being reminded by the water signs here that keeping the cup full is so, so important. And I do think, of course, it's important for water signs. I think it's important for everyone. There's been a humanitarian kind of feel to all the elements this time. So it's getting in your own elemental energies and realizing how just by doing that, you're affecting others and affecting the reality field, right? In a positive way, because you're that element. You're becoming that element. So working with the cups energy here. Also, this could represent for some of you water signs, new beginnings in love, romance, partnership, just starting out, or the next level. For some of you, it would be the next level, taking the relationship to a next level. We have the lovely gesture here of the Six of Cups. This means the water signs are putting a focus and an emphasis on making beautiful gestures with others around you in community. This could be paying somebody a compliment. Water signs are reminding us, pay a compliment, hold the door for someone, help the old lady across the road, help the busy mom do something. You know, you see her in the grocery store struggling, reach up and grab something off the high shelf for her, you know, whatever it is. The Six of Cups reminds us that love can be spread quite easily. Pay it forward. If you're all at the drive-through at the coffee shop, maybe pay for the person behind you if you're able, right? It can be the smallest gesture. It doesn't have to require money. It can be a smile and making eye contact, right? But with everything going on and what we've got in the reality field, you know, it's these little things that break through those inversions. So, you know, this is a deeper topic, but the dark energy, the dark magic, and the spell casting that they're putting out into the collective, the, you know, the they, right? There are energies that are doing that. This is one way that we counter that, and the water signs are reminding us that we are going to brighten someone's day. Okay. I know recently in when we had the blizzard hit here, I felt very called, and it wasn't like, I'm going to do this because, you know, I'm trying to affect the reality field, you know, like I didn't have that much, you know, thought go into it. I just felt this intuitive call to text my neighbors living around me and check on everybody and make sure they had enough food, you know, and it ended up working out really well. One of my neighbors needed some beans. She was going to send her husband out. If the roads were horrible already, I'm like, I've got beans in my pantry, please. You can have, I got, how many cans do you need? Right. And it's just checking on them. There's that little gesture. And one of my neighbors took it as, oh, you know, you're, you know, like the young person checking on the old people. And they're, I mean, they get along just fine, you know, but oh, it wasn't like that. But she took it like that. Like, she was happy, you know, someone was checking on her and her family, making sure they were home and safe and okay and didn't need anything, right? And so it's these little threads, these little things that we can pull, and that's what the water sign energy is showing. And then they're going to have a bit of this fire, though. Okay, water signs are partaking in a bit of this fire for this next week here. So what I like about this is that, first of all, she has this cute little, what is that? They call the King Charles Spaniel little friend down here. Usually it's a cat, but here is a dog. So there's some loyalty to the self going on with the water signs right now. There's some loyalty. There's some looking up into the higher aspects of how you're transforming water signs. Okay. And the transformation can happen with water, can happen with all the elements, but you're looking at the higher aspects and you're looking at the fire element here. So while it might be kind of feeling at times like you're looking into an aspect of yourself that is quite different from the rest of you, this could represent possibly a little temper for some of you. Could be coming up through emotional energies as well. But I also like how she's holding the wand. It's not like she's pointing it at us and trying to, she's learning. She's learning about these higher aspects of her own transformation. There's a lot of red in this picture. She's staying very grounded and rooted. It has to do with her connection to the collective and to the tribe. So if you think about your people, the kindred spirits, all your soulmates, right? Your soul family, your understanding and having this connection to those higher realms and how you've transformed your own life to be able to invite in these energies. For some of you, this could be coming through as like loyal friendships. And maybe it's thanking one of your friends that has been there for you. Maybe it's that kind of gesture that's coming through. But there's something that's been built here, and that you're the queen. Now, you're not necessarily in the masculine energies of acting. These are more subtle energies. These are more passive energies, but there's mastery here. There's mastery in the queen and the king, the feminine and masculine aspects. I think there's also something that you're going to be learning. If you haven't already, you're learning something new about yourself as you reflect on that. There's something surprising coming out of your energies, water signs, that you didn't expect. It looks a little different than you would expect. For some of you, it could be a situation, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, let's get a card for this Ace of Cups here from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Yeah. Ooh, I really like this. So water signs have the Ace of Cups and the Hawk. So this is that connection between the importance of understanding that our emotions are also connected in with our spiritual being, right? And that through the emotions, we can experience that relationship. So the hawk is connecting the higher realms to the lower realms here. And that's really beautiful. But we can't do that. Water signs reminding us here, we can't do that unless our cup is full. If this cup is not full, we have a hard time hearing this message and making that bridge. So water signs right now, you are working on bridging these energies. And I'm also getting the word illuminations. Some of you are having some great illuminations. It's specifically illuminations. It's not downloads or anything like that. It's illumination. Something's being illuminated because you are spending the time to keep your cup full. Now, if you're not a water sign, this is just a message and an indicator. Keep your cup full, and an illumination is available to you here. I love the brilliant white that the hawk is flying into. It's like coming out of a darkness into a great clarity. So for some of you water signs, you're coming out of maybe a dark time, personally speaking, and into clarity and peace. All right, so beautiful energy there, really. And if we think about the Hawkeye, and then we think about like Hawkeye, not from the Marvel thing, but the hawk's eye, and then your own, the inner eye, right? The inner eye of knowing and valuing the importance of that cup and the emotional energies. Okay, let's look at this Six of Cups here and get a clarifier for that. This one's sticking out the side, so we're going to go with it. Ooh, cool. We have the Nightingale. I always think of Florence Nightingale. Do some of you like to sing, or have some of you been playing that music and singing? There's a lot of power here being, remember I was talking about paying people compliments with this card? There's a lot of power in your voice. I feel like right now your voice, water signs, way more powerful than the average, right? And so really, really speaking it out, evocation, so important, right? Yes. And yeah, Zero Last says the Eye of Horus. Thank you. Yes, that's another way to look at that energy there. So we have the beautiful nightingale water signs, like singing a song into the darkness. So the power of your word right now, whatever it is you need to say, if you need to make a video for the collective, do it. If you're just going to make a quick TikTok, whatever, it's going to be powerful because you have these beautiful intentions of evoking something positive and powerful for others with the purpose of helping others feel good. Some of you too are just really enjoying singing or being in relationship with your throat and your voice. Some of you have found your voice, whereas maybe you didn't have a voice before. You didn't feel you were made to feel small. You're coming into your voice now. And look how small the nightingale is, yet a powerful voice that is illuminating the darkness. So wonderful time for you water signs. Make it a point in the next week to definitely pay a compliment. Let it come natural. I know you will. Go with the flow, but when the flow presents it, don't lose or miss that opportunity. Yes, this could also be opening up the throat, yep, and clearing. Let's look at this Queen of Wands. This very different energy here for our water signs that kind of comes in and surprises us. Ooh, I love this too. These animal cards are amazing. The Swan. And I really think now I'm seeing this Queen of Wands. There's a loyalty here to the self that is coming in. This swan is reflecting its own reflection on the water here. Okay, so swans mate for life. They're very loyal to their partner. This, I feel, for some of you, that could be the case if you're in a relationship, but this also has to do with your loyalty to you, and that you will carry your own fire and you will light your own path and you will light the beacons on your journey forward, no matter what anybody else says or does. This is a reflection of you with you and your own beauty. There is that, I got it with the nightingale, and I'm getting it here again with the swan. You have all air in these animals. You got all birds here. And there's a beauty that is blowing in for you. So some of you might be feeling particularly beautiful, or it might be a good time to just dress up in your favorite outfit and just be fancy and have a good time with that, right? And just to really maybe be right, and just to really maybe be in the mirror and looking at yourself and loving what you did, right? Like it's like those days where I get my eye makeup just right and I'm like, ooh, I got the line just right, and those are not as frequent, as I would like, because I'm still learning. I'm learning with my aging face and body, but I can still love the wrinkle. I can still love the beauty, the scars, right? I can still love my reflection, right? And so you water signs are really coming into that. So that higher awareness, that loyalty to the self is also opening up a gate of enjoying the beauty, the way that you are beautiful. And we're all beautiful in different ways, right? We're all beautiful in different ways. Okay, cool, water signs. Let's get you a card from the Sacred Geometry of Activations Oracle to close off the water signs message today. Ooh, there's some sticky cards here. Which one? Which one? I think they want both. Ooh, okay, we got both. Okay, so, and they're an 8 and a 9. Who knows how long these cards have stuck together? Okay, maybe since I got the deck. You got Alchemy. I love that, water signs, alchemy. Look at that. And it says the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability. We got the Magician at the very beginning for the collective, and the remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. This is our ancient past coming up, Cancer. Oh, I said Cancer. Cancer is really prominent here. Water signs, but especially Cancer. This is the ancient past, because Cancerians journey into the past quite a bit, and they catch a lot of flack for that. But I feel like this alchemy, there's something to be taught here from this alchemy that's coming up, particularly in the Cancerian energies, and maybe with this Cancer full moon. Maybe that's why I said that, because this Cancerian full moon is coming up during Capricorn season. There's an ancient wisdom here that wants to come out. And then also the card allowance. We have to allow this. to come out of us, to come up and out of us. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. And we've got what looks like a beautiful flower here, and a lot of green, a lot of love, a lot of heart space coming here. I think some ancient codes are actually going to be coming through some of the water signs, or for those of you who are not, don't have a sun sign in a water placement, where in your chart? Because that's going to be where you might be getting these messages, these ancient codes. Now, what to do with them? You don't have to have it figured out right away. Your job right now is just to allow those codes to come up. Remember, I said there's this feeling of illumination. So that illumination. And I also feel these energies, some of them, and this is what tells me we're almost complete here, is that these energies start to all blend together in the elements. I'm feeling all the elements kind of come forward. So maybe these two cards are for all the elements as well, to figure out how that might go into their reading or their energies. Okay, so before I close up, I just want to invite everyone. I will be live here Sunday evening, this Sunday. So today's Friday, January 10th. I'll be here on the 12th from 7 to 8 Central on my channel doing live readings. I do answer personal questions during this time. Make sure you get on early because we're getting quite busy on that. And I'm only going to go for an hour. I'm going to be really, value my time, value your time, and really stick to that time. I think I went over a little bit last time. So we want to value and honor the time, but come on early and let's get a question dropped. The questions have been incredible. There's been some really great questions, and it's really fun to do those and have some involvement. And then if you have something on your mind and you really want some clarity, it's a good time to come on. I also have just completed, put up all the January readings are up. So for every sign, all the January readings are up. You can check that out on the channel. And then I'll have next 10-day readings starting up tomorrow. So there'll be a whole nother round of readings coming out. So watch for those. And if you'd like a personal reading, I have links in the description below for this live and pretty much all my videos. Some of you are connected on social media. You can DM me anytime there if you're interested in that. And other than that, I'm behind the scenes working on some fun stuff. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I've been really working on moving through creating some content and material that probably is going to be in a course or a membership later this year. So that's really exciting. And I'll have different offers around that I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much for all of you that joined. So awesome to see you live. And if you're on the replay, thank you so much for checking this out. Much love to everyone. And I will see you next Friday too at this time.